Looking for a new podcast that you can soak up mortgage and real estate education? Head over to keyfactorspodcast.com and join me, Mark Jones, as I have open discussions with other industry pros about targeted industry topics on everything related to the mortgage and real estate industry. Visit keyfactorspodcast.com, where you can subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, or visit reviewmymortgage.com/keyfactors and start educating yourself today. What's happening, guys? It is Mark Jones, host of Key Factors Podcast, also branch manager of Directions Home Loan at Cantera here in San Antonio, and co-founder of reviewmymortgage.com, the largest index of mortgage programs nationally. And I have a quick update for everybody that I'm actually going to be rebranding Millennial Market Talk for the daily Millennial Mortgage updates. It made a little bit better sense to keep everything separate, and I already owned Millennial Market Talk, the site, podcast, and the YouTube channel. So we're just going to be rebranding that, and your daily Millennial Mortgage updates will be housed there. You can catch them on wherever you digest your podcast, the little short 5 to 10 minute segments that we have each morning. And you can continue to follow us on Key Factors Podcast with the weekly discussions with other industry professionals, as we're doing on Key Factors Podcast. Those are long form, can also be heard on other platforms such as Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Google, all the other places that the podcast consumption can be done. We will be releasing the YouTube videos of these late in April. But for now, if you want to digest this type of material, head on over to Key Factors Podcast, which is over there, for your weekly discussions with other industry professionals, and Millennial Market Talk, where I will continue to have these daily updates, keeping you guys in the know about the mortgage and real estate industry from a millennial's perspective. So this is Mark Jones, and it's time for your daily Millennial Mortgage update. So let's jump into today's interest rates. As I jump into Google, they've actually got a tool here that I used on a previous update, but I'm going to be using this moving forward, and it's important you read the disclaimers. It says these mortgage rates are estimated by a third party using industry average for their owner-occupied properties and do not include refinance options. Rates may vary using availability and lender approval. And as we look at this with 20% down in Texas, and I'm going to continue to use the average credit score for Texas, which is going to be 676, looking like our interest rates as of Friday were 4.565 with 20% down. If you put less down, it actually goes down just a tad to 4.4%. All right, so let's jump straight into our article of the day, and it is entitled Mortgage Coach and Sales Boomerang Snag New Investor. LLR Partners makes another fintech play. This article is brought to us by Sarah Wheeler, and it is on housingwire.com. It says, Philadelphia-based private equity firm LLR Partners announced Tuesday its investment in Sales Boomerang and Mortgage Coach, two fintech focused on attracting and retaining mortgage borrowers and making loan originators more efficient. Both firms will maintain their existing brand and teams. The investment comes at a pivotal time for the mortgage industry, which has seen record refi volume give way to a market dominated by purchase loans. LLR Partners, which led a $26.5 million investment in eOriginal in 2016, said both companies offer solutions that make a difference for lenders facing stiff competition and low margins in the purchase environment. Sales Boomerang provides automated borrower intelligence, delivering real-time consumer insight to lenders who can then offer the right loan to the borrower at the right time. And then Mortgage Code, it provides an interactive borrower educational platform that lets loan officers walk through a visual presentation of their loan options so that the LO becomes a trusted advisor, co-founder and CEO Dave Savage said. So guys, why is that article important? In my opinion, it shows how much our environment is changing, how quickly it is changing, and how valuable those changes are actually to the market. Innovation, technology has been a talking point for the last several years that I've been in the industry, but since the pandemic, it has accelerated at a very fast pace. Things like Mortgage Coach, where you essentially would take something like a Loom video recorded into your screen, showing the borrower their options on screen, which is something that we actually use here at our local branch to send out to our borrowers. We use them for going over closing disclosures, going over loan estimates, things of that nature. And it is important for us mortgage professionals to adapt to the current climate. Consumers want things faster. They want things better. They want things more convenient for them. And these are just things that, as we progress forward, you will see become more and more valuable to you as an originator, to the real estate agents for their customers, and you as the consumer for your experience. So that being said, it's actually a good plug for reviewmymortgage.com. Essentially, this is the largest index for mortgage programs nationally. We will be relaunching in late April, and it is an experience for the consumer, especially the millennial audience, for you guys to research and discover what you can potentially do before you actually speak to a professional to get what their options are and opinions on those situations, so you can kind of keep them in line based on the data that we've compiled. So that being said, guys, I think that I'll continue to bring articles like this to bring the relevance to how quickly our world is changing and to paint the picture so that you guys really get the message. And just as a reminder, we will be streaming these moving forward on Millennial Market Talk. You can catch that on YouTube and all other podcast outlets, platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Because at the end of the day, you can't have a good Millennial Market Talk without Mark in it. You guys make today count.
You were talking about money, Mark.
Separate yourself widely from the pack moving forward. Is that something that you would be willing to have a discussion about?
Because they didn't get it.
They
were
probably
like,
didn't get it. Yeah.
To follow up with your clients, to generate more leads. You know what I mean?
Always check to make sure you're recording. The record.
Yeah. Clap, and I need to start